right, so the 25% that should be spent on short game. First of all, let's define short game. I would say 50 yards and in.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a lot more pieces to the short game than there are to the full swing. Just as far as like a 50-yard shot's a lot different than a 10-yard bunker shot.
Right.
Very different techniques in the short game that you can use, all that sort of stuff, which we definitely will be getting into in a different video series. But same kind of general rule. I like to see 50% spent on technique, 50% spent on performance. I think a lot of people in short game miss the performance aspect.
Yeah. So when we're talking about hitting chip shots, okay, just practicing, okay, when we're hitting just say a basic 10-yard pitch shot here, okay, I like to go through and maybe not hit the same exact low shot every time.
Right.
Okay, so you want to hit the same shot, you want to hit different flights, you want to hit some that are low and roll out, and you want to hit some that even go higher and stop, okay? And you want to do that over and over and over, okay?
Yeah,
so
absolutely. So the great drill that I learned in college from Trey Winstead, he's out on the Korn Ferry Tour right now, actually. But it's just really simple, 3-ball drill. You take 3 balls after you do your technique practice, of course. You take 3 balls, you got just kind of throw them around the green, and you take one wedge. So it might be your 58, it might be your 54, whatever. You're going to hit 1 high shot, 1 medium shot, and 1 low shot, trying to get it inside 6 feet to whatever pin, whatever target you're going to.
Yeah, that's how you kind of mix up, kind of randomize your practice, kind of make sure you're getting the most out of it. Because you never know what you're going to see on the course. That ball come, you might get a bad lie. You're not going to have a perfect lie. So
right. That's a good another great point is practice chipping from those grainy lies and those, really thick, rough situations. You're up against the lip of a bunker. Dedicate some time in your practice to those really difficult kind of shots that you walk up in your course and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that the ball's sitting there,
And really get creative. Hit all kind of different shots.
Yeah, I mean, I think short game is an area where you really can be as creative as you want to be and see what works for you. And, I might like a little bit more of a low running shot, and Colby likes a little bit more of that high floater. And you can use either one of those shots in a lot of different situations. It's just what shot do you hit the best? Yeah,
it's good to have all those tools in your bag when you're out on the golf course.
Absolutely.
So you'll see a lot of average players, they're just hitting pretty basic chip shots, but, the pros, they can get up and down from pretty much anywhere. So
right.
It's really a good tool to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how we would break down our short game.
All right, so on to putting. How do we practice our putting? This is where that 50-50 rule for me kind of takes a little bit of a break.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Yep.
So obviously, your stroke needs to be consistent, right? But if you look on PGA Tour, I mean, they've got so many different setups, so many different strokes, different grips. I think putting is so much of a comfort thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Making sure you're comfortable over the ball. And there's a few things that everybody does pretty similar, get those eyes over the ball, that kind of thing.
Okay, so let's talk about what I would do first on the putting green. Okay, so there are 2 things I would really like to focus on. That's putts like inside kind of 5 foot, like really that make area that we need to be focusing on.
Yeah.
And then more of lag putts, okay? So I'll probably start off hitting a bunch of short putts, 3-footers, 5-footers, make sure my stroke's good online. Okay, and then we'll slowly kind of back away. But I'm not really going to focus in on that 15 to 25 feet range, because it's really not going to
make a big
difference. On exactly.
Garrett Runyon, the head coach for the LSU women's team, he used to always call that stroke training, that working on the 3-5-footers, your technique kind of stuff. Like that was like brushing your teeth. Every day you go brush your teeth, and so it'd be like 25, 30 balls. That's all the technique we would do.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like a very high performing D1 college team, and it was nowhere close to the majority of our putting practice was on technique.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of outcome drills.
Yeah, and I like to tell a lot of students to be an athlete when you're putting, because a lot of people, they get caught up in the stroke so much, they're not really letting their eyes and their hand-eye coordination kind of do the work.
Right.
Like Tiger says, putting is an art, so you want to let your instinctive athleticism kind of take over.
Absolutely, yeah, I couldn't agree with that more.
Yeah.
So some drills that I really love, we keep talking about these, focus on outcome. 3-6-9 drill, super simple.
Yeah.
Say the hole's here, you'll put 4 branches of tees, 1 tee at 3 feet, 6 feet, 9 feet, take 3 balls. You're trying to make as many of those as you can. And
Yeah.
I would do that drill, take a baseline, you know, what's good for me, and then try to beat that every time you do it.
Yeah, of course. That's a great drill for just improving. You're going to see a lot of those putts on the course, so it's a great drill. Okay. Another drill is just a gate drill. I like to do those from really close up. Okay, just kind of focusing on my putting stroke, make sure my contact is centered, my stroke's going through the middle, and that's kind of pretty much all I kind of do, like technique-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Good then.
people really highly underestimate the importance of getting solid contact on the putter.
Of course.
If you hit it out on the toe, it's not going to roll very well.
Yep.
Hit it thin. I mean, yes, you can hit a putter thin, and the speed's going to be all over the place. Definitely that gate drill is a really big one for solid contact.
So what about lag putting? What do you kind of do when you're practicing lag putting? What are you focusing on?
I think a really simple lag putting drill is pretty classic. A lot of people do it, but put a stick behind the hole at like 3 feet, put a tee at 10, 15, 20, 25 feet, or you can do 10, 30, 40, depending on, you know, what kind of putt you're looking to work on your speed on, and just try to hit like 5 balls in a row in between the hole and the stick, and just really dialing in like your tempo more than anything else.
Yeah, it's very important.
Getting that metronome out, practicing your different length putts with the same tempo. I see a lot of golfers trying to hit the ball harder on those longer putts. We definitely want to avoid that. We definitely want to just adjust our stroke length and not necessarily how hard we're hitting the ball.
Yeah, I like to tell students, so you're not trying to hit the putt, like you're trying to get the ball to roll. You're trying to roll
Exactly.
the ball. Yeah. That's how you really dial in them speeds.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and when you get to 30 plus foot, it's all about your speed. You're not really going to make much of them.
Yeah.
See amateurs, though, ram about all the time.
Right.
Really
I think
need to dial in that speed.
having those expectations in a good space is important too. I mean, once you go past 8 feet, which is not very long, right? I see a lot of amateurs miss a 10-footer and they're like, oh, you know, throw a fit. It's like, once you go past 8 feet on the PGA Tour, those guys are not making a lot of putts.
Yeah, I tell some of my students that even, and it kind of just blows their mind. They're like, oh, so I shouldn't be making all of these. I'm like, no, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You need to be focusing on your speed.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of where we would land on our putting. A little bit of technique is good, but much more outcome based.
Yeah.
Really dial in that speed.
Yeah, really use your feels, use your hand-eye coordination, and really kind of dial back those expectations a little bit.
Yeah, perfect.